Ladies and gentlemen, every NBA season there's always a few players that elevate their game and become all-star caliber players. We've seen it with LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, De'Aaron Fox, and even Tyrese Halliburton, just to name a few players. These young guys are showing why they have all the tools to be the faces of the league in the near future. So in this video, 1 month before the season begins, we're going to look at 5 players who I believe could be first-time All-Stars in this upcoming NBA season. These players have all the tools and the skill sets to become a first-time All-Star and could possibly do so if everything goes right in their favor. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Before we get into the video, guys, do me a huge favor and subscribe to my second channel, Wevo, which I just created. I'll be posting a lot of 2K content there, where I'll be doing my league rebuild videos, my league challenges, and a bunch of other 2K content, which you guys are definitely going to enjoy. If you guys enjoy that type of stuff, definitely follow that channel, subscribe to it, leave a like. You guys know what it is. Let's get right into it now. So with the first player on my list, I have Jalen Brunson from the New York Knicks. Look, Jalen Brunson is obviously the best player on the New York Knicks. I know it's questionable due to the fact that Julius Randle made an All-NBA team last season, but during the second half of the season and majority of the playoffs, Jalen Brunson was the Knicks' best player and obviously the best talent to help them win those games to get to the second round. We also saw some of his great play in Team USA's play in the FIBA World Cup. Last season, he averaged 24 points per game, 3.5 rebounds per game, and 6.2 assists per game, while shooting close to 60% true shooting as well. This is a really efficient guard who can get others involved while getting to the basket and putting pressure on the rim. Jalen Brunson is one of the smaller guards in today's game, and even though he is small, his impact is still felt on the offensive end. His ability to get to the basket, even while being so short and so small, is still felt by a lot of teams' defenses as well. He's a very underrated guard that many people don't talk about due to the fact that he came off the bench from Dallas, and even when he signed his big contract in New York the previous season, many people doubted and believed if he could actually put an impact for the New York Knicks going into their season. And he ultimately became a better team that year and made some strides in the playoffs. And I think that Jalen Brunson is going to build off of what he did last season, build off his play in Team USA, and also be a player that the Knicks are going to have to rely on to win games in close stretches and be their guy to close out games for them too. At number 2, I have Jordan Poole from the Washington Wizards. Now, I think a lot of people are expecting a lot of big things from Jordan Poole this upcoming season, especially with his rough exit out of Golden State. Jordan Poole has one of the best young offensive skill sets in the game right now. We saw it in Golden State as he helped them win a championship. Golden State is going to miss a lot of what Jordan Poole gave them in the previous season. But at Washington now, with the freedom he's going to be able to have on a team that's rebuilding and looking for their identity, Jordan Poole is going to be able to step in, be able to have so much more freedom and be able to showcase his skill set. And I think that's going to put him in the best position to be able to be a high scoring threat and possibly have many voters think about him being an all-star caliber player this season. I don't think his play is going to revolutionize the Washington Wizards. They're still going to be a very, very bad team. I think if Jordan Poole is able to be an offensive engine for this team, be able to be a little bit more efficient and still put in great numbers, I think he has all the possibilities to be an all-star reserve this upcoming season. And I also think the media will play a big hand in their role as well. Having a chip on his shoulder, very similar to what the 2012 James Harden looked like being traded from OKC to Houston Rockets. You can kind of see the similarities in that same situation with Jordan Poole, a player who has been ridiculed, been written off, and coming into a new setting and trying to fulfill his role and prove the doubters wrong. I think it's possible, and I love Jordan Poole's game, and I think that if he's able to perform well in Washington and still help them, I think he has all the possibilities to be an all-star guard in the Eastern Conference this year. At number 3, I have Mikal Bridges from the Brooklyn Nets. Out of all the players on this list, I think Bridges has the best possibility of being an all-star this upcoming season. When you look at his game when he was traded to the Brooklyn Nets at the trade deadline last season, his game elevated to a completely different level that many people who were not big Mikal Bridges fans at the time did not know about. He's a top 5 two-way wing in the game right now. I do think that the Brooklyn Nets are not one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference, and it may hurt his bid to be in the All-Star talks. When you look at how he played when he was traded, averaging over 26 points per game and having a 60% true shooting, I think he has all the capabilities to be in those All-Star talks despite the Brooklyn Nets not being one of the better teams. Personally, I really hope he does become an all-star. I love his game, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all know, it's the best celebration in the game. Y'all know what it is. At number 4, I have Jamal Murray from the Denver Nuggets. Now, we all know how great Jamal Murray is. We just saw him win an NBA championship with the Denver Nuggets alongside Finals MVP Nikola Jokic. We know how good he is due to how he elevated his game when the Denver Nuggets needed him most in the playoffs. Now, coming into this season, for the Denver Nuggets to repeat as champs, Jamal Murray is going to have to elevate his game to another level. And I think that with him elevating his game, which I think he can do, will put him in all-star talks in this upcoming season. You look at what he did last season, he averaged 20 points per game, averaged 6 assists per game, 4 rebounds per game, and had a 57% true shooting as well. I think when you look at the Western Conference and a lot of the guards, the Denver Nuggets are still going to be one of the best teams in the NBA. And I think that when you look at Nikola Jokic spearheading that team. The second best player on that team was Jamal Murray, who is now clearly healthy. And I think that when we look at the All-Star talks, the All-Star voting, Jamal Murray is going to be in a very, very good position due to the fact that the Nuggets are going to be one of the better teams in the Western Conference. And honestly, that championship boost. We know how the media works and how they do with voting for NBA players going into All-Star. We know how they do with All-Star voting, and I think if Jamal Murray is able to elevate his game, which he's going to have to do due to the fact that the Denver Nuggets lost a little bit of their depth in the offseason, I think it's a big possibility for the Denver Nuggets to have 2 All-Star players this upcoming season after winning an NBA championship. And Jamal Murray is that good of a player. I think over the past 2 seasons, due to him missing part of those seasons due to injury and finally being healthy near the end of last season, and the Denver Nuggets winning a championship, people were surprised to see how good Jamal Murray is. But we're going to see him again this season. And I think that with his play, he's going to put people back on notice and obviously and possibly be an All-Star player alongside Nikola Jokic in the All-Star game this year. And lastly, at number 5, with a big surprise, I have Tyrese Maxey from the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I know a lot of you guys are listening like, Steve-O, you're crazy. Maxey, like, what are you talking about? Hear me out. So we don't understand what's going to happen with James Harden over there in Philly. He might get traded. He may not get traded. We don't know what's going to happen. But I will tell you this. Jamal Murray, with any role that you've given him, has always improved. With an increased role over the past 3 seasons he's been in Philadelphia, he has always stepped up to the mantle and elevated his game. When Embiid has been out, he's played better and also been able to elevate his game. When James Harden has been out, he's been able to elevate his game as well. Tyrese Maxey, whatever you ask for him to do, he does it for Philly, and it honestly goes unnoticed amongst a lot of NBA fans with how good of a player he is off the dribble, as a catch and shoot player, and attacking the rim. I do think that his defense is not that great. When you look at what he provides for the Philadelphia 76ers, he's been filling in that role to a T. And if James Harden is possibly on the move, and if Tyrese Maxey is on the move to a different team, he's going to have an elevated role. And I've told you before, with an increased role, Tyrese Maxey has always improved his game. Over the last season, he averaged 20 points per game, 3 rebounds a game, 3.5 assists per game, while having a 60% true shooting. This is an efficient young player that can play well and do his job. I don't know what else to tell you. I think that it's a crazy stretch. Don't get me wrong. It's a crazy stretch. But I honestly believe Tyrese Maxey could possibly have a breakout year depending on if he gets traded, if he has to step up in his role in Philly. I think that it's a big possibility for him to be an all-star caliber player and be in all-star talks, especially with how he's performed over the past few seasons. The Sixers or whoever team has Tyrese Maxey when the season begins can trust that he will do his job. And I think that when he performs well in this upcoming season with his offensive skill set, many people will be leaving. Many people will have him in talks of him being an all-star caliber player if he's able to elevate his game, which I've said before he's able to do. But that concludes my players who I think could be first-time all-star NBA players. I know some people don't agree with some of these guys. Y'all let me know in the comment section what you think. Some of these players, you know, you may not agree with. Let me know who you think. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe. All the you know what to do. You know the 9 yards. Be sure to turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. Be sure to subscribe to my second channel, Weevo, like I said before, where I'll be posting 2K content, my league rebuilds, my league challenges, whole lot of stuff over there, but you're gonna enjoy it. That concludes the video. Until next time, stay on beat.